I made a trip across state to pick up a lawnmower that was given to me. And no, this is not the one I went to go get. You know, got to start out small until you get bigger, right? Well, this one was given to me by the same people. My buddy's dad hit a rock and bent the crank. So, sad to say, as new as it is, it ain't any good. I thought if I could get another engine to stick on there, why, you get a good mower. So I'm gonna have to get a hold of my brother and see what we can do. Well, the one that I went to get was this one. This made it worth my trip. The guy that owned it was a next door neighbor to our friends, and he was using it all through last summer, and I don't know what happened. He didn't really say. He took it to have it serviced. When they gave him the price, he brought it back home, and that's where it sat until he put it out to the road, and my friends hauled it out to the barn. So, what is wrong with it? I don't know. I'm hoping that it's actually something. Well, I doubt that it's anything too easily, otherwise they probably would have had it fixed. But I got that engine sitting right there that hopefully will bolt up to this thing and make it work. A little bit of welding to do. Right there. And right there. No big whoop. I'll take this cover off and sand it down, weld that up. Probably do that first as I'm trying to decide. I mean, I'm not even seeing underneath this thing what's involved removing the engine. I have a cousin that lives a couple miles from here, and this is what he does for a living, is lawn service. So I'm thinking I might have him come over and look at it, tell me what he thinks. Rexmark, that's a popular one and a good one. Anyway, I got it for $50, but they were gonna just scrap it, and I said, I'll give you $50 for it. So we'll see what we can do with it. So that's all I found was, well, that I was hoping to find some goodies on the side of the road to and fro, and I didn't. But I didn't have my better half with me, so on my trip there, I decided to take the expressway. You kind of go down and around as opposed to going straight across the state on M57, but then you're going through little towns, and I decided I didn't want to do that. I just want to get down there, so I took the expressway, and when I got down to Grand Rapids, there was a detour. East 96 was closed for X amount of miles. Oh, okay, well, now what do I do? So I turned south on 131, and there was a sign that said detour, so I followed it, and then it said detour north 131. So I got on there. I thought, this isn't right. So I had to turn around. When I got off of 131, I asked the guy, I said, how do I get back on East 96? So he said, go down a couple miles south on 131 to East 196. And I said, I'm familiar with that exit. He said, that'll take you right back on 96. So I did. And once I got on 96 heading east, I said, well, and that was an ordeal as it was. And I said, at least if I don't end up in Detroit.
And I said, at least if I don't end up in Detroit,
I'll be doing good. Well, after some time, I really got to looking around and I'm thinking, I don't recognize any of this. I don't think I've ever been here before, but I have. Had to be. I've driven this route many times over the years. Then I see a sign that says Brighton, 12 miles. I
Oh, I missed my turn.
And then I remembered seeing a sign for I-69, Flint, and I thought, well, I don't want to go to Flint, because I was going to Flushing, which is right next door to Flint, before you get to Flint. I don't know what was going on up here. Can I blame it on getting older? Except for I've always been this way. So no, I can't blame it on that. Well, I called my friend up and I said, I'm coming up to Brighton, Michigan. What did I do wrong and how do I get out of here? He said, Ludington? I said, no, Brighton. I don't think I know where that's at. I said, didn't you used to work in Brighton? Oh, Brighton. So he's 6 days younger than me, so maybe his hearing's going. So he said, just keep going, you'll hit 23. Go 23 north. I said, yeah, I know my way from there. Well, I did not pay attention way back there. Who knows how long, and I missed my turn. And I had a detour back in Grand Rapids, and when I finally got where I was supposed to be going, I said to myself, well, as long as I don't end up in Detroit, and I'm hauling down the road, and I'm thinking, man, I should be... Now, keep in mind, I'm going to the town that I grew up in. And I have traveled this road many, many times, way back in the day, though, a long time ago. And I have been on that road, on the right road, in recent years, but not enough to keep it fresh in my mind. And so when I got on track back after the detour in Grand Rapids, I said to myself, as long as I don't end up in Detroit, I'll be doing fine. Well, then I realized I should be there by now. Then I see a sign that says Brighton, 12 miles, Detroit, so many miles. I thought, I'm on the wrong road. So now I've been talking on this thing and not paying attention. I'm pretty sure I'm headed to Flint now, but I don't know. Now this is, oh, what, 4:30 in the afternoon, somewhere in that area. So I turn, and then I'm thinking, how come the sun's on my right hand side? And I'm going south 23 when I need to be going north 23. I'm a ding-a-ling. Okay, well, way over here in the top left is home. Home. Right here is Flushing. You see the cursor? That's where I grew up and went to school, and that's where I was heading. But I ended up down here. Right here, I was supposed to get on I-69.
But I must have been
talking to myself or something. And you would think that going south on here, which I'm very familiar with that road, would have raised some questions. But all through here I kept thinking, man, nothing looks familiar to me. Yeah. I got there about the time that I originally planned, so on the way home I took the highway across the state. I figured I couldn't have messed that up, and that went well. So, anyways, I'm gonna dig into that thing and see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'll let you know. Well, a year ago I had this off and I cleaned it, but it was because it was. Oh no. Okay, good. It was dirty, and so I cleaned it real good. And when I put it back on, the car didn't run right. It idled really high. I've been idling high for a year now, or close to it. I just realized that I had another one of these sitting in the shed, so I robbed that part off. I call it throttle body. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but I cleaned it up. I broke the plug for this. Well, I think it was already cracked because when I unplugged it, it just fell apart. I don't think I did anything wrong. Anyway, I had to wire it back on there to make sure it wouldn't slide off. And it appears everything's back on there. Now everything's back on there. And we're going to start it up and see what happens. See if it will idle normal. Can't remember how many RPMs. I think it was at least 1500 RPMs idling high. Well, apparently it's working. Yeah. Here we go. It was up right around in there. Huh. Wish I would have remembered that part a year ago. All right then. That takes care of that.